Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today we are in a town called Valrico, Florida. Kind of a suburb of Tampa, actually. Pretty far inland. And what we're doing is we're going to go ahead and try to solve a water problem in the backyard here. Let's take a look. So you can kind of see, I've laid the pipe out so you can kind of see how we're going to lay this out. And you can see how low it is here at that corner. That's quite low. It's just all this area is grading this direction. When it rains hard, water floods up and of course goes right into their pool from all directions. So we're going to run the quick and easy flow. We call it Styro-Rock, and that'll be our French drain. We'll add a couple of catch basins because it rains so hard and so fast that we need to grab immediate surface water. That'll come down. We're going to hook up that rain barrel. They've got a nice overflow, so we'll hook that up with a T, and then up there by Matt, we're going to put a sump basin in. We'll discharge that all the way out to the sidewalk at the front. So remember, a couple things that you need to do straight away before you dig would be, of course, call and get utilities located. So we've got the power located here. That's all they located was power, so apparently there isn't any cable. We go ahead and we find that water meter so that we're, just in case we do come across that water line, that we know how deep that line is. And you can see the meter there. That line's only probably 10 or 12 inches deep here. It is not very deep. So we do that, take care of it. So due to sprinklers and other things that may be underground, we're just going to dig this by hand. It is really only, a shovel deep. Doesn't take long at all. We do cut the sod off and put it back. And you can see their sod's not very strong, but that doesn't matter. It'll still come back real quick. One of the most frustrating things as a contractor, and you'll probably find it too as just doing it yourself, is when you call and get utilities located and they don't locate them. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is our discharge line, and basically all we did was just cut the sod, and this is normal stuff. You find the cable line where it's not even 2 inches deep, and again, unmarked cable. There's a telephone line there as well, unmarked. And of course it got nicked right up there, but I can give them service and temporary service. That's not a problem. But it's one of the most frustrating things that you find, because you're all ready to do this. You notice, we're in full sun out here. This is a hot job, and it's like, come on, we did our part, we called it in, we're to do what we're supposed to do, and you should do the same. But be prepared. Things aren't always what they seem. So for all those people that think sand is easy to dig in, we're actually using a hammer drill. That's how hard this soil is. And this makes pretty quick work of it. We actually use the hammer drill a lot in Florida, but more in North Carolina, where you've got that red clay and it's just super hard. Now I'm just going to dig this out. We'll do it a couple more times and we're at the right depth. Okay, we're setting up the Zoller M98. This is a 1/2 horsepower pump. Start with a male threaded 1.5 inch adapter. There's a port for it. It screws right in. You just put it on there hand tight. Whoops. Get it started. Remember, plastic threads sometimes don't want to start. Make sure it's on there good and tight. Then we'll put a little riser just so that it gets above this protection bar, and we need to put our check valve on. Remember, all check valves have some type of marking. This one has the arrows pointing upwards, telling me that's the way the water flows. We need that. We don't want the water to come back down into the pit, so the pump keeps recycling. So you need a check valve if you're going to lift it and push it very far. I'm not going to glue it yet, but you can see how it sets up. Then we'll use our handy dandy drill. By the way, I would have got a Black & Decker, but I had to get a Craftsman. That's all they have. Just as tight as you can make it. So now we're ready to go ahead and glue this up, and we'll set it in the pit. We still need to do some plumbing because everything's underground. So there'll be another small riser and then a 90, and it's going to come out the side of the basin. So it's all underground. Remember, it's automatic. It has a float. As water rises up, it kicks on the pump. As water goes down, turns it off. Real simple. Okay, let's go ahead and put it in the basin. Yeah, so just in that brief rain delay, I mean, it was like 15 minutes, and you can see how much rain we get in just a few minutes. It just takes 2 minutes and we get lots of water. But anyways, we do have good flow, although this is actually not gravity. This is going to be the pump line. But let's go back here and take a look at the trench to see what's going on with that. Once we hook up that downspout, it's going to go over here to the sump basin. But take a look. You see that water standing in that trench? And you can kind of get an idea of exactly what happens here during a rain, any rain. That water had no place to go. We're still not there. Yeah, we got it over to the sump basin and it flooded that far, but you can kind of see it. When it rains, water just came down and it filled up this low spot. Then of course it just flooded right up over and into the pool. So if you have this type of a problem, this is the way you correct it. Catch basins, French drains, they're going to collect the subsurface water and the surface water. The catch basins, because it rains hard during a flash flood, for example, that's extreme, but water floods across the top of the ground, it has to get into your system. It won't get into the French drain fast enough, so you need a catch basin. Catch basins pick up immediate surface water, drops right into your system. Hey, good morning, Chuck here with Apple Drains. So yesterday, that little 15-minute rain delay, it turned into all day. This could happen to you. It's a very frustrating thing when you're trying to get something done, and of course, Mother Nature's not letting you do so. But let me show you what's going on, and definitely, it's a little bit more work, but you can do this no matter what. Let me just show you what's happening here. So if you remember the first part of the video where we ended yesterday, these trenches were just full of water, and you can see it tries to drain, but that ground here is just so hard, water cannot permeate down any further. This is not groundwater. This is just water that could not get down into the trench. Yes, groundwater can still come through that really hard pan, but this is not. This is just surface water, like a flash flood kind of thing. But you can see we only have a few more feet to go. If you look over in our sump basin, you'll notice I put a pump down in here. This is just a temporary pump, like a mud pump, and we're going to pump that out. We'll have to redig it because, of course, it's collapsed and put more sand in it because we need to put this sump basin down there. From the collection, which is, we call it, just remember there's two parts, collection and discharge. The collection is going to be the French drain. We're using the Easy Flow, Styro-Rock, a couple of catch basins, comes over to the sump basin, and the sump pump's going to lift it up and send it out front. We have, like I said, this section to dig as well. And then we also want to put this downspout right here. It has to go back to the sump basin. And in that same trench, we'll run our 1.5-inch pipe back out, and you can see that trench is pretty much already dug. So we got pretty close yesterday, but yeah, Mother Nature, you'll never beat her. She's a wonderful person, a wonderful woman. It makes it beautiful, it also can make it hard. But we're really close. We're going to finish this up here. Maybe today. It is supposed to rain again here in a couple hours, so I don't know how far we'll get. But personally, I just don't like to leave a job until it's finished. So let's get digging. Okay, let's plug in this temporary pump. Hold on one second while I get this plugged, and I'll and I'll have to actuate the float here. Remember, this is full of sand and debris and mud, so we want to make sure that we don't suck a lot of stuff up in here. But can you hear it kick on? It's working great. And we'll pump this for a little while, just long enough, you know, to get it down. You can see that water going down. There's a lot of water there. And then we'll use the shovel, clean it back out a couple times, and we'll be able to put that sump basin in here. You'll also notice, if you look, you see the foundation, how deep that foundation is? Quite deep. Even on a slab home, things get deep. So we're gonna let it suck a little bit dry here. And now we're gonna turn it off, and we're gonna go get the shovel. It'll have more water in it, but we'll be able to get this out of here. So if you remember yesterday, using the hammer drill with the spade on it to dig, even with it rained, it's still rock hard. But we have about, what, 6 or 8 feet. Clean out the sump basin again, because as they come across this wall, of course things drop down into the sump basin. But you can see our trench. Remember, that's for the input of the downspout and the outlet of the sump pump. So you can see just how sweaty we are in just a few minutes here, but it goes real quick. Let me show you what we got. We're almost ready to install. So Chance has got the really hard spot here. This is the hard pan. It's about 20 inches thick. Underneath of that, quite easy again, but we're not quite going that deep through the trench. But you can see where his boot is. We just have that last little section. That all comes over here to the sump basin, which we have to pump out again and clean the soil out, because where I trenched over along the wall to bring the downspout from that other corner, remember, we're bringing that one over to here. So it kind of caved in. We're also hooking up this rain barrel. So we've got a tunnel underneath of here. We'll use their pipe, figure out a connection for that. You can see they've got it all siliconed in, so we don't want to take that apart. But we'll get that, put a T on it right here. All this collection is coming into the sump basin. And then that same trench that runs over here, as you can see it, that'll also be for the discharge of the sump pump. Remember, it's just 1.5 inches. If you have a bigger pump, you could put 2 inch in there, but it's not big pipe, so it'll easily fit in there. We run 1.5 inches because it's more than enough for the Zoller M98. Push is great. Got this trench pretty much all done. There's a little bit more where it rained last night. Clean that back out, and we're ready to install. Okay, so we're just going to clean out that hole, the sump basin, one more time, because it keeps, you know, if water's pulling back down in there. But you can see we've got our easy flow, the French drain, the Styro-Rock. You can see the catch basin over there, another catch basin here. I just used a little piece of solid to come around the corner. And then it's all going to be solid from here over to the sump basin, because all that, the grade of the yard comes down this direction. It's all going to pour into the catch basin here. And that yard coming from the fence back there is all graded back towards that catch basin that you see by the box right there. So in addition to those grades of water, you know, traveling, you can see this pool deck. It's actually all graded, of course, to this corner. And there is a channel drain. Looks like there's a micro channel drain over on a piece of it over there, but that's not affecting any of this over here. The big thing that's causing big problems here is the super gutter, the lanai gutter. You see how they brought it down into the rain barrel? They did give it an overflow, which is great, but all of that water was just traveling through the lava rock and just flooding back, and of course coming right back up onto the pool. It floods high enough that it gets into the actual house in that corner right there. So this should take care of all of that problem. Okay, the quick review before we backfill. Remember that there's 2 parts to every system. One is collection. That's what we're using for the French drain. It's collecting subsurface water and surface water. Catch basins, real important. Don't be fooled. You need catch basins to pick up immediate surface water. They do not clog up the system. That's why it's called a catch basin. Collection, got it all. Comes around, great fall, another catch basin here. Goes all the way over to the sump basin. Notice that I backfilled a little bit there because if you remember the groundwater, it tries to lift up that basin. So even with a 40-pound pump installed, it can still float up I did perforate the bottom, just a couple holes. We don't need to perforate that. I'd rather contain our water because it is right beside the house, so we don't want this water to leak underneath that foundation. So remember, 2 parts to every system. Collection, that's the French drain, and the catch basins, and the discharge, whether it be gravity going to a pop-up emitter, a storm drain, through the curb. In this case, the discharge is the sump pump. It's a mini lift station that lifts that water up and sends it out to the street. Okay, another final review. You can see we've backfilled up to this point, but I wanted you to see the sump basin and sump pump. Notice arrows are pointing upwards. That's the check valve. Tells me the direction of water flow. Comes up, plumbed it through. The discharge line runs out in the same trench as the black pipe, which is coming into the pit. That's the downspout drain, okay? So a lot of things happening in your sump basin. It can handle them all. And notice that we use the Oatly 2-in-1. Means it's got primer built into the glue. Don't forget your handy dandy Black & Decker. This is a Craftsman. Hacksaws, pipe, glue, those are your tools. That's all you need. Okay, 1.5 PVC. This donut is specifically designed. This is Schedule 40. This is thin wall PVC, a little different. And this donut fits inside the 3-inch thin wall, not Schedule 40. This side of the donut right here fits 1.5 PVC. Hard to find this part. If you have trouble, send me an email. Maybe I can help you find them. But we're going to glue, everything glues together, and then we'll put the grate on the top of the 3-inch 90, and we'll secure that with a screw. And there's your finished product. You can see the 1.5 glues into the donut, and it's actually called a bushing, but say a donut. Then we glue that to the 3-inch PVC. Put this in here with the grate on top of the 3-inch 90. Put a set screw in it, and we're done. You could send this, you can see we're right by the sidewalk. It could come right to the walk, but I know how powerful our pumps are. That water shoots up 6 or 8, 10 inches. Rather than get somebody all wet, we usually set it back a couple of feet from the sidewalk. We've got good gravity to run it off down the driveway, whatever, to get over to the curb. So again, that final review before we backfill. This is our discharge pipe from the sump pump. We've got our grate. This is where the water will come up, just like a pop-up emitter. But we found that pop-up emitters are not strong enough. Even with screws, that pump will blow them apart. So we always put the grate on there. You can see it's just 1.5 pipe. We're about a shovel deep. It goes all the way back, over, turns, and goes to the sump basin. So yeah, it's gonna rain. We just finished, just barely made it. Again, a great project for the do-it-yourselfer. Of course, when you see how muddy I am and things like that, it might turn you off of it, but it really isn't that bad. It just happened to rain on us. No worries. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.